Namaste. Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome back. I'm here today doing live readings for your tarot card of the year for 2023. I should say follow-up readings. So in December last year, I did a reading for each of the tarot cards, looking if I have the wrong one here. No, we're death. Sorry. In December, I did tarot card readings for each of the tarot cards. So if death is your tarot card for 2023, there is a reading on my channel linked below that I did in December. And this reading is in support of that journey, in support of your experience with death this year. Hi, Danielle, welcome. And so what I'm doing is reflecting on the reading that I did 6 months ago, but also I want to reinforce the idea that we are in the energy of the 777 portal right now. And this is an amazing time for reflection. And I would encourage you to sit with this message and perhaps go back and listen to the message in December and just check in with where you are at in this journey. This one is a very profound card, and there may be a lot that is arising for you. And so have tremendous compassion for yourself and give yourself space when you need space and time, and be in no rush with this energy. We were well into the year, but there's still time and there's still space to understand these lessons and process all of this. Okay, so for those of you that are popping in and wondering who I am, I'm Sadhana. Hello. I am a reader, a tarot teacher, a healer, Reiki master, and I've been doing this for a long time, and it's my pleasure to work with people individually and collectively on their journeys. And so what I offer you here today is just a sampling of what I do. Okay. Now, the death card. The death card is also connected to the energy of Scorpio. And so this could very much resonate if Scorpio is your rising sign or Scorpio is your sun sign, because this is all part of the same sort of energy. This particular death card is really beautiful. We see a figure meditating close to the edge of the water, and that the whole universe is reflected in the water. The waters representing the unconscious, the subconscious, the sea of Binah, the deep feminine energy, the waters of Scorpio that we are invited to dive deep into, whether you have this energy as a sign or your theme for this year. We all have a taste of this experience in Scorpio season. Scorpio, classically speaking, is ruled by Mars. And if you look in this top left corner of the card, you'll see all of this fiery energy. And so there's this interesting non-reflection of the fire in the water. Mars is a powerful energy of action. It perhaps being reflected in all of that feminine water is immensely uncomfortable. And yet there is a drive to move through. I feel compelled to say there is a drive to fix things as well too, but this is not a journey of fixing anything. It's a journey of experiencing things. It's a journey of endings and of beginnings and rebirth. And there are so many beautiful synchronicities in all of the cards that are sitting on the table here that reinforce that this is indeed your theme for this year. I asked you in December, what does it feel like to live? What does it feel like to fully live life? And this question was arising because I was sensing that perhaps you've held yourself back from living. And so in order to live, something must die. I mean, this is a natural law. So this journey of 2023 is part of the journey is allowing those things that you have been holding on to, clinging on to fully be released and returned and recycled. Energy is never disappears, it just takes on a different form. And so this is a huge year of transformation. Of course, there is an emotional component to this that feels perhaps something that has been hanging on for a long time. I would say even since your childhood, or there's a familiar pattern to something that emerged as a very young person. And often when we're working with big archetypes, the patterns repeat from lifetime to lifetime. And there's just too many synchronicities here that are saying this is a really big kick at the can, and you have an opportunity here to move through change and to find fresh clarity and insight so that you can stand tall, reborn. Honestly, it's very, very powerful. Your shaman card, the Hunter of Empowerment. Let's begin with a message from that oracle. And you can just glance at all the other cards on the table. I will also draw a supporting new card to your reading. The spirit suit is the suit of ether. Sorry, I didn't have this page open and ready. Okay. If you're not familiar with this oracle, there are chakra correspondences. And so this particular suit would be, I mean, it feels very crown chakra-like. It feels deeply connected to guidance. And it would make sense that this would show up, this suit would show up in a death year where perhaps the veil feels thin more frequently than ever before. I mentioned the 777 portal, which we are still in the energy of. And I would suggest that you mark all of the portals, the number portals on your calendar to make these specific days and the days on either side of them ones of strong intention and setting up, doing your spiritual work on these days to find schedule alone time on these days. So the Lionsgate portal is next, 8/8, and then 9/9 and 10/10 and 11/11. These are wonderful opportunities to work through this energy. I am the spirit of empowerment. I hold you in the palm of my hand and fill you with a determination and drive that allow you to successfully accomplish any task that you undertake and overcome any obstacle that stands in your way. I bring you the energizing emotion of a deep-seated self-belief which will transform and strengthen you in every aspect of your life. Your feet are two fish. Fish change direction easily. Fish swim in the depths of the ocean. They swim at the surface of the ocean. And I think this card is very interesting in terms of Chariot. We are in a 7-year, the Chariot year. That's why the Chariot card is sitting underneath the Death card. And when I look at this card in terms of the Chariot card, the point that feels important here is one of focus. And so perhaps that's why I'm guided to suggest marking the portals on your calendar and specific times in your month or your week where you can do your work. Your spiritual practices, sorry about the noise, the wind is blowing through here and my blinds are doing this. That's the weird sound you can hear. Pay attention to these windows and schedule other windows as well too. And I would say the hour of Brahman will be very important to you. So if you can begin an early morning practice, this will also help bring focus for you. So those two fish, right, as your feet, they need direction. They need direction and they need focus. Discipline might seem like a harsh word, but the regular practice and the consistency of practice, like coming back, doing your practice at the same time every day, the same time if you're doing it once a week, and the same day, the same time. So there's a sense of discipline and focus that is required here to help you move through this energy that feels so powerfully spiritual. Tattvam Asi. This particular mantra, you might want to do a little bit of research with this mantra. There are other mantras that have a similar energy. This mantra reflects your connection to spirit. I am one with spirit, that kind of energy. And sometimes that is hard to wrap our heads around, that God is within. Oh, you're very welcome, Danielle. God is within, God is without, and welcome to Kristen and Saskia as well, too. I work with the Soham mantra, and this is one that comes through my tradition. And so finding a mantra or finding a mantra teacher to help you, this is mantra practice is one that it just transports you. It transports you, and it can actually change your mind and your physical body at a cellular level if you practice every day, regularly. Half a mala, 1 mala. So I want to offer that up. Now, in the artwork of this card, we see a Shiva Lingam reflected in water, and it's really quite amazing how these two cards show us the same sort of energy. So the way that what is manifest and what is unmanifest is reflected in mirror images. And so this reflection, this dive, this swim into the depths of your being is part of the process of the release, of the cleansing. Consider the 5 of Cups as a cleansing energy. And I think I spoke of the little drops here, 3 little drops falling into the pond that I saw on this card. I don't know if it will focus, but there's 3 little drops of water there. Every little step that you take will be recognized. Every offering, the purity of your intention feels really important here, and the focus of intention. You know, sometimes we go about spiritual work and we forget about intention. We forget to ask. We forget to focus intention. And when I am doing a reading, sometimes I'm rambling on trying to fine-tune the question. But I think with this very powerful archetype hanging overhead all year long, having a mantra, having intention it's going to help you so much. The practice of refining intention and raising the frequency of intention is something that you could do in your journal. And this is a process of taking an intention which feels quite mundane to a higher level, where you ask yourself, well, what does this really mean? What does this really mean? And one of the paths, and I actually did an exercise with this, I've done a few workshops, and sorry, they're all kind of a blur. I believe I did a workshop, a moon workshop a couple of weeks ago. And yes, I'm touting my own horn here. You might want to listen to that workshop, because that could help you with defining intention. It was a new moon workshop. Okay. You don't want to be drifting from place to place. You want to be finding focus here. Harnessing things in is not a bad thing. It creates focus and it creates a trajectory that feels highly significant here. We go from Scorpio to Sagittarius. There's something about Sagittarius energy that, I guess because this card is sitting here, the 10 of Flames, so 8, 9, and 10 of Flames are Sagittarius energy. We can see the phoenix of transformation here inside this beautiful gold frame. And so what I'm feeling for you is that within the course of this year, the freedom and the transformation has the potential to be beyond your wildest dreams. And yet, how can you let go enough and trust enough to let go of all that that you need to let go of? I just want to share with you some of my notes from the December reading. Okay, so completely severing ties. What does living feel like? What does it feel like to truly live? Oh, this was a good question too. Have you truly looked your so when we go into the water, when we go into the subconscious, you can look at either of these cards, thinking about the feet diving into the water. When you dive into the water, can you take your hands and capture what it is that you are working with? Can you hold it in your hands? Can you completely look at it, feel it, embody it, embrace it? Instead of from your ego mind saying, oh yes, I've seen this before. Yeah, I dealt with that. I did a little bit of counseling a couple of years ago, and sure, yeah, okay, I know what this is. You need to go deeper. You need to go deeper. You need to let it, you need to feel it so much that your physical body shakes. And this is part of the process of severing the ties and letting go. This experience of death is fully feeling your loss, your sadness, your memory. And I won't say that this will be for the last time, because sometimes it takes a few more practices. But if you can commit to a practice of this, it will transform. And you will feel like the phoenix you see in this picture. And I think the Ace of Feathers is a brilliant card as well too for you. The iridescent quality of the peacock feather, so beautifully, brilliantly connected to higher chakras. This is a higher chakra journey. This is an opportunity to connect with spirit like you haven't before. All right, I'm going to draw an extra card for you. Good evening, Uday. This is an extra card for those of you that have death as your tarot card of the year for 2023. May this card further support your journey through Cancer season and through the rest of the summer, redefining your work here and helping you to stay focused on your path. As always, we ask these messages be in the highest for the greatest good and that no harm be done. There is a jumper card, but I will cut, so I'll draw you another card. It's the Four of Swords. I'm working with Tarot of the Strange Branches for the extra cards. Okay, so let's weave these two cards together. So the jumper card was the Four of Swords. And when I think of fours, there's a sacredness here. There's an aloneness, and I don't think I mentioned that in this reading, and that is when we are doing deep spiritual work, we need to get comfortable with ourselves. We need to get comfortable with being alone. And if you are in the Northern Hemisphere and it is summer and you live somewhere where camping is even a possibility, you know, there's nothing like a night spent under the stars to find clarity. The fours in general create a container for sacred space of mind. And I would say this Four of Swords is a container for the Ace of Swords that you see above. Peace, space, connection with spirit. And it's really funny, the card that I drew, the Digitalis card, which is the Nine of Pentacles. I think it's like a night and day card. You know, sometimes in the depths of it's almost just, it's like a repeat of what we're seeing in this particular card and in the artwork of the Tattvam Asi card. It's that we There is always both. Whether it is daytime or it is nighttime, it is always daytime somewhere else and nighttime somewhere else. Night and day are, the dark and the light are always there. And perhaps part of this journey through death is one of, I said this earlier, like energy never goes away, it's just transformed. Whether you have lost a relationship through death or divorce, or drifting away in some other way, or there's been a physical loss of a home, or you've had to sever ties with a town or your ancestral home, that energy will always be with you. It's just a little harder to tap into, and beginning to understand that there are certain times of the year where the veil is thinner and it's easier to find these connections was the invitation that I made to you at the top of this reading, and I think it will really, really help. Now, digitalis, the foxglove here, it's also connected to heart medicine. So there may be something in a heart awakening that this card wants to share with you. This is a Venus card, 9 of Pentacles. It is a card of abundance and light and fullness. And I think it is a beautiful reflection of the peacock feather you see in the Ace of Swords as well, too. If you turn that digitalis card upside down, you have two very similar looking energies here. So there's tremendous potential through this, but I want you to tread cautiously. Take your time. Be kind to yourself. Don't rush through this process. And be a little more disciplined than you have in the past with your spiritual practices. Okay, so mark those dates on the calendar. At least once a week, set yourself up to be working on what it is you're working on, okay? And if you need further support and direction with this, please reach out, okay? I do work with people individually. And I would strongly recommend taking that new moon workshop, because there's a lot of great tools there that seem to fit in with what I'm saying. It is on the shop. Sorry, I'll just get you a link. integrativehealingwithsadhana.com shop. I wonder if I have a link here. Yes. So this is where you'll find my classes and different ways to connect with me, okay? And the link for this December reading is down below. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for putting your trust in me and being here and supporting one another in the chat. And I will be back a little bit later carrying on with more readings. Take good care, okay? Thank you. Namaste.